Hello, this is Lucas, and in this video I'm going to show how we can use the attribute selector in CSS. So I have four paragraphs here with a class, and each one has a different class. This is how it looks like at the moment. We just got four paragraphs. So let's get started. So in our CSS, we're going to start off with selecting the elements with a specified attribute. And that specified attribute will be class. Okay, so firstly we'll have to target P. So we'll go with P. And then inside of here we are going to do class or anything else, or any any other attribute that we have. But we have class for now. And then we can just open and close it like that. And then we can just add, let's say we'll just do a background color just to see how it looks like, and we'll just do the color blue, color green. Okay, now if you save this, go back into here, you can see that every single element gets a green background. That's because we have selected every element that has the attribute class. So if we remove one of these, so if we just have one S here, and if we go back, you can see that this one does not get selected. So this just selects every single attribute that has class. So let's just go back into here. So then the very next one will be we're going to be selecting elements with a specified attribute and value. So this is the attribute, and then this is the value. So let's say that we want to select certain values from the same attribute. Okay, so the way we'll do that is, so we have the attribute here, and we would just need to equal this to the value. So the value that we have is my test 1. You can save this now. So you can see that only 2 paragraphs have that value of my test 1. Now if we go back into here, refresh this, you can see that only the first 2 get selected because these 2 have the attribute class, but these 2 have the value of my test 1. Even though these 2 still have the attribute class, they have different values that we have specified here. Okay, so the next one that we're going to be looking at is the target. It's a target or select all the elements with an attribute containing a specific word. Okay, so let's say we're going to continue to target all these 4 classes, but now instead of class equal to, okay, we are going to add in this squiggly line right here. Okay, and this will target all elements that contain this word here. So if we do test, for example, okay, we go back into here, refresh this, you can see that none of them get selected because they have to we have to have this specific word in here. So if we have test, for example, refresh this, you can see this one gets selected. We can also have something like, let's say we have test 500, and we refresh this, you can see this also gets selected, because even though test 500 is not equal to test, by adding this line here, or this value here, what this is going to get, it's going to get all of the elements of class, or all of the values of class that contain test. So even though this does not equal to test, the test is still part of this value. Okay. So the next one that we are going to be going over is selecting the elements with the exact specified value. So it has to be the exact value. So instead of this squiggly line, all we have to do is add this straight line down here, and we can save it. So you can see we have a few examples here. So firstly, how does this look like? If you refresh this, you can see only the first element gets selected. The reason being is we are selecting the elements with the exact value. So this is the exact value test. This is not the exact value, because this is 2 different values. It's test and it's 500. Now, the thing with this one is we can use a hyphen to separate words, and this will still work. So if we use a hyphen here with test 500, now if we go back, you can see that this does get selected. Alright, so test hyphen and then any other word does get selected. So once again, by adding this this value here, what we're doing is we are selecting elements with the exact specified value. So the exact specified value of test. So you can see this is true, but this is also true because we are using a hyphen. We can use a hyphen to separate this word as our value. So we have test, and then we can separate this with a hyphen 500. You can see that these two do not get selected. Reason being is it's not the exact specified word. It's like it has my at the very start and it has two. What we can do is we can separate this with hyphens. Refresh this, and you can see it will still not work. The reason being is this has to be at the very start. So if you do this now, go back, and you can see now it does get selected. Okay. The next one that we are going to be going over is we're going to be selecting elements that start with a specified value, and we can just use this arrow up. So you can see all four of these start with test. So if you go back into here, refresh this, you can see they are still all selected. If we move any values anywhere else, so if we do like 500, so like this, we have 500 here, then we do 20 here. Now if we go back into here, refresh this, you can see only these two get selected because only these two elements start with test. Okay, next one that we're going to be going over is to select elements that end with a specific value. Alright, and the way that we do this is we do the $, like right here. So our values of the element class, or of the class element, have to end in this word test. So if we go back to our page, refresh this, you can see only the first element gets selected because only this element ends with test. The rest of these do not. You can do something like this, move this to the very end. So we have a test here, and then let's just remove this test from here, and let's just do a test. We'll go back into here, refresh this, you can see paragraph 3 and 4 get selected because they both end in test. Okay, and then the very last one that I am going to show you is to select elements whose attribute value contains a specific value. And we just use the star value here, star. So we can use one of the same examples. We can do something like, so we have test here, and we can do, so let's remove the test. Let's see how this looks like. And you can see all of these elements get selected, okay, because all these elements have a specified value of TE inside of each one. So let's say we remove this one here, so it's only T. Go back, you can see this is not selected because it does not contain the value TE. Okay, so that's about it for this video. Hope this video helped. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.